apparently Lane Norton says nobody would try the carnivore diet if they knew this. Now already, I have a pretty good idea this guy's clueless on the biochemistry. He might know some aspects, but I'm pretty sure he's clueless. So let's see what he has to say, because if he says this, then obviously he doesn't know all of the biochemistry and he's missing something. So maybe we can teach him a little bit.
There's clearly a lot of people that experience benefits from going on a carnivore diet, an all-meat diet. I also hear them say things like plants are bad for you. You mentioned that. Fiber is bad for you.
Toilet paper.
Interesting. I'm trying to figure out where that's coming from, but yeah.
Apparently. Okay, well, I guess we'll start with fiber. So if you give me fiber, I will die. Well, I won't die, but I'll feel a little bit too much pain. And not only that, I'll actually slow down my digestion, and I'll actually become constipated. So I am, once again, a very good example of don't do fiber. But if you need more examples, or you need maybe even a better example, then you could just take basically the study where they put people on a low fiber diet, a no fiber diet, and a high fiber diet. And lo and behold, what happens? Turns out the high fiber diet, every single problem when it came to constipation, it came to anal bleeding, it came to stomach cramps, stomach pain, doesn't matter what it was. Bloating, every single one of those increased. And when the medium fiber group, what happened to them? Oh yeah, that's right. Turns out they had reduced of every single one of those problems. And what about the no fiber group? They had none. They didn't have a single symptom. Doesn't that sound familiar? That's a low residue diet, which actually used to be used in the medical field, and now it's not used anymore. Isn't that suspicious? I wonder why. So, yeah, it's a money thing. But regardless, and you might go, okay, well, why did the no fiber group have no problems whatsoever? It's because when fiber partially ferments, and it causes bloating and gas buildup, and you're not actually getting any dietary value out of fiber whatsoever. Not only that, you are slowing down your digestive system, because fiber quite literally cannot be digested. There is no benefit to fiber. So that partial fermenting, what ends up happening? Oh, it turns out you end up getting tons of gas. That's you see cows farting? Yeah, that's exactly it. They have a cecum. They can actually break down and digest that fiber. We can't. So, in terms of the digestive thing, I mean, if he doesn't know that every animal basically relies off of fatty acids, or pretty much almost every single animal relies off of fatty acids for energy, and they don't use glucose, then I already have a pretty good feeling he's clueless. But hey, let's hear him out.
What's your take on it, like in terms of, why are they're experiencing the benefits? You kind of talked a little bit about it. Why they're experiencing some of these benefits, like autoimmune disease is the big one, right? Their autoimmune issues kind of resolved. But like long term, for some people, yeah. But long term, like do we have even data on this? No, there's no data.
Yeah, you know why there's no data? Because there's a lot of money behind this. Actually, I have a video on that. If you're really interested, you can go check out why they don't want you to eat meat, or I think it's called that one anyways. It's basically your health, their profit. If you want to know why, there's no studies done on this. And there probably won't be studies done on this for quite a bit of time, because that's a lot of money. There's a lot of money behind this. So if studies are going to be done, hopefully they're done within the next 10 to 30 years. But even then, I'm not really too sure. And even then, when they do get done, the other side is just going to pump out more studies against it, and they're going to buy out the studies. It's sort of a dead giveaway, but it's happened so many times before. Tobacco companies already did this. LDL, the whole LDL myth, they did this as well. So
there's a lot of belief in this based on how you feel, I guess, or perhaps some biomarkers. But, plants are bad for you, fiber's bad for you. Like, what's your take? Clearly there's something going on. People are experiencing things that are real.
So I'm big on symmetrical application of logic. If you were going to use a certain line of logic, you have to apply it symmetrically. You can't just apply it asymmetrically, but asymmetrical application is usually what people do. What I mean by that is, let's take the plants are toxic thing, right? There are people out there who will say, well, broccoli has this compound in it. which is a carcinogen. I think I saw some physician doctor saying there's 76 known carcinogens in plants. And I'm like, if you extracted like the chemical composition out and like overfed them in high doses, maybe. Okay. But what actually happens when people eat plants? Like if plants are trying to kill us, they're doing a really crappy job. Like,
dude. Okay, well, I take it back. He's clueless again. All right, so I guess we'll start here. Yeah, you just apply this line of logic. Dude, all you're doing is you're causing inflammation at a low level. Some people experience it at extreme levels, like me, for instance, because I have an autoimmune condition, or maybe even Ken Carnivore, or take all these other people who do carnivore. They experience this plant inflammation way, way more. People who expose themselves regularly to this inflammation, they don't experience that extreme degree. Well, sometimes they do still if they have an autoimmune condition, but otherwise they still don't experience that extreme degree, but they are giving themselves inflammation for no reason. And plants, like, okay, that's number one, I guess. And two, plants aren't trying to kill you. Dude, if like, what does the rubisco enzyme do? Okay? It cranks out tons of reactive oxygen species. What does that reactive oxygen species do? It ends up causing lipid peroxidation. What happens when lipid peroxidation occurs? Oh, well, it turns out the plant has to produce tons of vitamin E. So now you have plants with extremely high amounts of vitamin E, and you're saying, oh, okay, go ahead, go eat those plants with high amounts of vitamin E. And what happens when you do? Oh, it turns out in vitamin and mineral interactions, when you do that, you actually lower other vitamins and other minerals. And not only that, why are you giving yourself such high amounts of these quote-unquote supposed antioxidants from plants when they're actually pro-oxidants? Why are you giving yourself such high amounts of these when you're not going through the same process? You're not producing as much reactive oxygen species as they are. And not only that, even if you were, your body would generate the antioxidants that it needs. So it's like, and first off, where do these reactive oxygen species even come from? Where does all this oxidation, for that matter, these problems with the reactive oxygen species comes from? It comes from glucose oxidation. And how do you increase glucose oxidation? That's right, you do it with plants. Oh my God, man, he's clueless. He's clueless. Yeah. I don't know what else to say.
like they are failing miserably because people eat more plants tend to live longer.
Oh, oh God. He just dug himself a grave there. Yeah, you're right. They live longer. Just go look at India. Go tell me how good India's doing, huh? 67 years of age. Doesn't look too good. Turns out eating more plants actually lowers your lifespan. Oh, Hong Kong, 85 years old. Oh, turns out eating more meat actually increases your lifespan. I wonder why. It's like, bro, oh my God. Just show him a vegan. Like, if you look at age from a small scale perspective, which is literally what I talk about on my channel, aging is just a small scale perspective of the damage that you're doing to your body. So if you want to increase the rate of aging, then all you have to do is just increase the small scale damage. So go vegan. Great. And you will see all of the results just like this. You go carnivore, the exact opposite thing would happen. Why? Because that small scale damage isn't occurring anymore. Once again, carnivore, less reactive oxygen species, less lipid peroxidation, less inflammatory markers, better vitamin and mineral interactions, getting essential vitamins and minerals, higher amounts of cholesterol leading to higher amounts of hormone synthesis and hormone production, adequate hormone production. Oh my God. Do the exact opposite thing. What does the vegan have? Oh yeah, that's right. More reactive oxygen species, more lipid peroxidation, more inflammatory markers, less vitamin and mineral interactions that are actually beneficial, quite literally leaving you either one, anemic, or two, vitamin K deficient, vitamin A deficient, vitamin whatever deficient, doesn't matter. Vitamin B12. Amino acid content extremely low, you become emaciated. So it's like, dude, oh my God. Yeah, once again, clueless in terms of the biochemistry. Undergraduate student schooling Mr. quote-unquote Dr. Lane Norton. This is not a good look. Once again, these people making these claims don't even do it themselves. They don't even know all of the research behind this. And it really kind of bugs me. Let's dig yourself a deeper hole, buddy. Keep going.
And so, okay, why are we not applying that towards compounds in meat? Heterocyclic amines, heme iron, polyaromatic hydrocarbons.
Are you kidding me? Dude, heme iron bioavailability is way higher. Is he just like... How is this carcinogenic? What? He's clueless. It's official. He's clueless. What? This is insane. Holy crap. He's saying heme iron is bad. Does he not know how heme iron works? Bro, the heme iron in terms of bioavailability is like 15 to 35%. Why do you want non-heme iron? Non-heme iron is less bioavailable, meaning you get less of it. Vitamin and mineral interactions. Hello? You want to go anemic? Go ahead. Go vegan. I'm not aware for so far. Anyways, I haven't heard any carnivores having extreme iron problems. Going, oh my god, I'm dying because I have too much iron. No. It's regulated by hepcidin. Once again. Man, this guy is clueless. He's clueless. He's clueless. Well, is he gonna say retinol is evil now? Please enlighten me, buddy. What other argument will you make that actually is absolutely clueless?
NUE5GC. And when you bring that, they go, carnivore I was debating, said, well, that's just hormesis. I'm like, well, how convenient that the compounds that might be carcinogenic are hormetic for the stuff you like.
What? Dude, what's cholesterol? If you want to increase your hormone production, what exactly is that? That's right. It comes from cholesterol, because cholesterol is important in making all of these hormones. Man, this guy really is making himself look like a fool. Oh, it is not good. It is not good. And he has the oh boy. All right, buddy, enlighten me. What else? What else do you have to say?
But the stuff you don't like to eat is toxic. I'm like,
the stuff you don't like to eat is toxic. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Go eat those leaves off that tree, and go tell me how much you like the taste of those, and how they're not toxic for you. Like, dude, give me a break, man. Come on. I can eat any animal there is. Well, almost any animal, as long as they aren't like a poison dart frog. I can eat pretty much any animal there is, because the meat isn't completely filled with basically poison. I can't eat any plant that I want. I can't just go up to this brush and eat it. A cow can do that a lot better than I can, because it has a cecum, and it can, once again, get short chain fatty acids. It can get specifically fatty acids from that specific object, whatever it is eating, if it's fibrous anyways. I can't. So I have to eat meat. Like, oh my god. He should learn digestive tracts, for that matter. This sounds like he doesn't know some basic physiology here. Holy crap. Actually, he doesn't know basic physiology. He wouldn't make that statement otherwise. This is clueless. Oh my god, he's so clueless. It's crazy. He's so confident too. That's the best part. He's so confident. He's like, oh, at this point, at this point, at this point. And it's like, dude, like, come on. Physiology. Just watch my playlist on this, and it will explain all of this. Every single bit of it. It's insane. Holy crap, man.
But this is like the Olympic level mental gymnastics they have to do to convince themselves. Because again, they believe that they're actually doing something healthy for themselves.
Oh my god, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. Dude, it's like he doesn't even see himself doing the mental gymnastics. It's crazy. It's genuinely crazy. But enlighten me. Please tell me more. Dig yourself a deeper hole.
Now, I want to be very clear. Some people do carnivore and they get healthier. I'm not saying that can't happen. I am simply saying you would be even more healthy if you also included fiber in that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, just tell me that. Oh no, in fact, go tell Ken Carnivore that. Go tell him to go include more fiber again. So he can go quite literally bleed out. I'm not going to say that. But regardless, hopefully you can see where I'm going here. Go tell him to include more fiber just like the doctors did. And quite literally, they made him lose his colon because of it. Interesting. You know, it's almost like somebody is quite literally, Lane Norton, talking out his... Come on, buddy. You're really kind of making me go crazy here. This is not looking... You already look terrible. You look terrible as it is. But I would love to educate you on more biochemistry. Please, please. Because clearly, you don't realize that people actually react to fiber, especially people who have got autoimmune problems. Like me. Because if I included fiber back in my diet, I might be dead, actually. So, yeah, I'm not going to do that. Dumb. Once again. Clueless. Literally doesn't even know the function of fiber. Doesn't even know why animals eat fiber. Holy crap, buddy.
Also included fruits and vegetables. Now,
Why? Enlighten me. Give me one reason why. I can only tell you one reason, by the way. That's for taste. That's it. There isn't a single other reason that you would include that in. Know that when you're eating any fruit or any vegetable, I don't care what it is, you're doing it for taste because that isn't optimal. Why? Why any fruit or any vegetable? Because every single fruit, once again, higher glucose content leads to higher glucose oxidation. Not only that, you mix that in with meat, now suddenly you skyrocket insulin to glucagon, and now you cause extreme anabolism of adipose. So I can guarantee you, if we do a little CAT scan of his body right here, he's not going to be shredded lean. You're going to see his meat like Wagyu. You're going to see his muscle like Wagyu. But regardless, it's... in fact, if you really want to see just an example of that, look at Mike High Intensity Health and go look at the MRI scan of a keto versus a carnivore. And you will see the person themselves who is doing the MRI scan says, so it sort of looks like, wait, what age is she? I thought she was a 16-year-old Olympic athlete based on her muscle mass. 16-year-old Olympic athlete. And a carnivore. Yeah. Once again, buddy, you're making yourself look really bad. I can't believe that. Who even believes this guy? Oh, Jesus. This is bad. This is really bad. I mean, if you're going to say meat is... No, if you're going to not say meat is bad, but if you're going to say include fruits and vegetables in, then at the very, very least know your biochemistry on it. Then please, God, know your biochemistry on it, because you're not making yourself look good at all. You're really making yourself look bad. Don't dig yourself a deeper grave, dude. We got 9 more minutes. There's a pretty good chance you're going to do that within 9 minutes.
I think a lot of these people are people with undiagnosed IBS, people with gut issues, digestive issues, and what is carnivore? It is an elimination diet. And so what happens when people who have gut and autoimmune disorders go on elimination diets? A lot of times they feel better.
Exactly. They improve. Who would have thought? I wonder why. Do I need more to teach you more biochemistry, buddy? Holy crap.
Okay, but an elimination diet is meant so that you can then add back things and see what you tolerate versus not tolerate.
Why? Why would you add things back in? This is what I mean. It's clueless. If you're adding anything back in, know that you're doing it for taste. You're not doing it for optimum health. I can guarantee you, I'm like 90% sure he has not been carnivore himself. If he was carnivore, he might realize, based on just the anecdotal personal experience, holy crap, I feel like I have so much more energy. Holy crap, I feel like my brain is actually working now, and I'm not speaking out my over and over and over again. And I might realize, I might be a little wrong on this one. Holy crap, dude. Honestly. No, there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people who I think are delusional, like Mike the vegan, for instance. Just a extreme delusion, so delusional that I don't necessarily think it's important to sort of get that kind of, I guess you could say, give him that kind of treatment, because I obviously will give him the biochemistry lecture treatment, but I'll just say he's delusional. And then there's the other end of the spectrum, which is Mr. Paul Saladino saying suddenly fruits and vegetables are healthy. Well, fruits are healthy and you should have fruits. And it's like, once again, completely clueless on that side of the spectrum. And then there's you, who is almost like Saladino for that matter. I would put Saladino and him in this category because, in my opinion, if you really want to choose between one diet or the other, at the very least, choose between vegan or carnivore. Do not choose this in-between diet because there's a problem when you do, and if you increase the carbohydrate intake too much, which most people do, and then they end up just going back to exactly what they ate before, which is the standard American diet, worst possible diet. But regardless, choose between at least vegan or carnivore and see the results on your health for yourself. And if you add anything back in, know that you're adding it in for taste. You're not adding it in for optimal nutrition. There's no reason to add extra polyunsaturated fat content and exorbitant levels of vitamin E and fiber to quite literally make your digestive system slow down. And not only that, make you bloat more, like me, for instance, because if I did that, I would bloat like crazy. Not good. Not good, buddy.
Many people, FODMAP sensitivities. Many people have FODMAP sensitivities, aren't even aware of it. So they cut out fruits and vegetables, which can be high in FODMAPs, and they feel better. Okay, so then start adding them in one by one and see what you tolerate.
Why? Why? Once again, why? Why? Give me biochemistry. Please give me one biochemistry reason why. He can't. And if he can, I can guarantee you I will immediately correct him. But please enlighten me. Just one, buddy. Just one. All I want is one counter argument because I haven't heard one yet because they're all BS.
And I think the other thing to point out is there is a lot of selection bias that goes on here, which is if you look at these carnivore groups, because I've been in them, because I watch, really people who are getting positive benefits are the ones that are the loudest. And the people who don't, they get like gaslit, bullied. They get accused of like sneaking in carbohydrates or plants.
They can probably just do it wrong. Like, you can go carnivore, eat tons of pork, and then be like, oh my God, why is my stomach so irritated? Or why is my bathroom process so bad? If you have electrolyte problems, once again, electrolyte problems are because, there's a couple of reasons, but one of them could most certainly be you're working out or you're moving a lot throughout the day. And if you're moving and working out a lot through the day, then you can either, one, have more electrolytes and actually drink a little bit more water. And you probably, sadly, because I'm going to say there's a couple of reasons why, but you might have to add in electrolytes just based on in some sort of water in order to prevent those muscle cramps from happening. But even if you don't do that, you can also just increase insulin a little bit and have that in the form of some sort of dairy product. And that will retain minerals, make you retain minerals a little bit better. Now, I don't necessarily recommend this whole extreme workout stuff every day and like exhausting your body, because I actually really don't think that's healthy, especially when it comes to spiking cortisol over and over and over and over again. I don't think that's healthy, but please enlighten me. I genuinely, I got to be honest, in terms of that is the only problem that I've heard with carnivore is either one, you're having electrolyte problems, or two, the bathroom is very runny. Those are the only two that I've heard that are problematic. And I haven't heard a single other problem. So enlighten me. Give me one problem.
And the response is always, well, just add more fats, add more animal fats. If they're having problems with constipation or whatever it is.
Constipation. I have not heard a single person have a problem with constipation on carnivore. It depends what they're eating on carnivore. I can't think of anything that would increase. The only thing that I can think that might slow down the process of digestion in terms of polyunsaturated fat content would be higher amounts of polyunsaturated fat, like extremely high amounts. So I don't know, are you like cooking in Crisco or something while you're carnivore? I wouldn't recommend that. I definitely wouldn't recommend that. I can't think of anything else. I genuinely can't. I haven't had this problem. I'm not aware of anybody else who've had this problem as well. If you have, please come to my channel, tell me, or I don't know, email me or something. I actually have a pretty difficult time reading the comments as of recently, because like I am definitely starting to grow as a channel. So it's pretty difficult to answer all the comments, especially, and create videos at the same time. But regardless, hopefully the whole point is to educate you guys.
And it's funny, I was on a debate with Paul Saladino on Mark Bell's podcast years ago. And I think I actually came across poorly on that podcast because, one, I wasn't super familiar with his entire position. And I was so flabbergasted by it. It took me like an hour to just recover and like get my wits back about me.
Yeah, that's called your brain not working. That's what happens when you're not carnivore. Your brain doesn't just turn on like this. I'd like to hear one biochemistry reason. Please enlighten me. Enlighten me. Enlighten me. I still haven't heard it. And even Saladino's probably... I think Saladino is actually less clueless than this guy. I think this guy's more clueless. I would probably say... I don't know who's worse, though, because Saladino advocates... See, that's the thing. Saladino advocates for fruits and honey, which I definitely don't think. I definitely don't agree with the fruits part. The honey part, you could mix in honey technically, but you're going to get some problems. One, because it's going to get processed and go straight to adipose, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's toxic. Quite literally, your body can't... It's observed by your body as like a toxic thing because it doesn't go by the regular processes. So I'm not going to go into that. But it's very interesting. I don't know who's more clueless. I'm probably going to say this guy. Saladino at least seems, from what I'm aware of, he's experienced it himself, so he knows the electrolyte argument. But this guy probably doesn't. Enlighten me, please.
And he pulled up his postulation at the time was fiber is toilet paper. Your body doesn't digest it. Like, why would you put that in you? Well, fiber isn't just like toilet paper. Like, there's this thing called soluble fermentable fiber that actually is the main fuel for the gut microbiome.
He didn't just say that. He just dug himself a deeper grave. No. Bro, where are you getting your fatty acids? Dude, it's not that difficult. Okay, here, we'll spell it out, okay? There's 3 things that the body uses, okay? It's either fatty acids, it's glucose, or it's protein, basically. It's one of those 3. It's not that difficult. Now, if it's not one of those 3... and you can't really get much out of it from one of those 3, then it's kind of not necessary and you don't need it. Now let's go through each one of those to help you spell this out, okay? Glucose. Is it high in glucose? No. Is it high in fatty acid content? No. Is it high in protein? No. So, what are you getting from it? You're getting very minimal amounts of fatty acid. In fact, I think you're actually getting none. That's right, because you don't really have a cecum, so you can barely get anything. So you're getting nothing. And that's the main fuel source. So you're telling me the main fuel source is nothing? Really? Really? Dude, holy crap, talk about being clueless. I think he's more clueless than Saladino. I definitely think he's more clueless than Saladino. Because I think at the very least, Saladino knows that phytotoxins are a problem. And at least that fiber probably is a problem as well. But this guy, holy crap, he's clueless. Is he the worst? I mean, there's like levels of delusion, right? Like the problem is that when you rank in the middle of that delusion, but you're really confident, you make yourself look really bad. Like if you're on the Mike the vegan delusion level, like extremely delusional, in my opinion, you don't really look so bad because you're just that clueless. Even if he's confident, he's like, yeah, he's a little confident. But if you're on like if you're like in between the delusional spectrum and you're really confident about it as well, it's sort of like, it makes you look really, really bad. I'd probably say he's actually worse than Saladino. Yeah, he's definitely worse than Saladino. Enlighten me, buddy. Tell me more. Tell me more. How is this the main energy source for the gut microbiome? Once again, clueless.
And of all the things we know that actually help with the gut microbiome, that's like the biggest lever, is fermentable, soluble fiber. And that produces things like butyrate, propionate, which...
Oh, you just dug yourself a grave. It's a freaking fatty acid, man. I just spelled it out for you 3 times. 3 things. Glucose, fatty acid, protein. Those are the 3 things. When your body digests something, those are the 3 things. And if it's not one of those 3 things, it's considered toxic, basically. Your body looks at it and it goes, uh-oh, I can't deal with this. Or, well, if it's vitamins and minerals, then it can deal with that. But besides those 3 things, it's pretty much just considered like, oh, I don't really deal with this. So, once again, no. Every single thing that he's mentioning, by the way, that's right, fatty acid. Wow, who would have thought? Oh my God, man, clueless. Clueless, holy crap. This isn't even clown level clueless. This is something else. I'll have to think about it. I'll have to give it some thought because, honestly, the confidence here is just radiating. It's absolutely radiating, and there's even like a little bit of like an anger part towards it too. So it's radiating confidence and anger and clueless. It's a 3-in-1 combo. 3 birds with 1 stone.
Which have positive metabolic health benefits in many randomized control trials.
Oh, really? Tell me the biochemistry. Why? Why don't we look at a simple small scale and see why exactly they might or might not? And define that randomized control trial. Or we could just look at this from basic biochemistry and realize that it's complete BS. I think that the easier one is to look at this from pure biochemistry and realize that it's BS. I spelled it out for you before. There are 3 things, okay? It's not really that difficult. 1, I wouldn't recommend the glucose, but your body does need glucose, so it will produce it through gluconeogenesis. 2, fatty acid. Obviously, fatty acid is the primary energy source because, once again, less reactive oxygen species, and less reactive oxygen species means 1, less lipid peroxidation, less oxidative stress, less inflammation, and yeah, not that difficult. Less antioxidants have to be made. Even better. So why increase the antioxidant content in your body? I don't know. I don't know.
So that's one. But he pulls out this study that I'd never heard of before. And it was a study where people who had constipation eliminated fiber, and a lot of them reported improvement in their symptoms. So it's self-reported and there's no control group. I'm like, okay.
I just listed this study for you, buddy. There was a group who was high fiber. Is that not a control group? I don't know. Well, enlighten me. Just keep digging yourself. Already, he's at least like 50 feet down. He's really cramming, he's going hard at the ground with that shovel, just digging himself further. Holy crap.
Okay, but the meta-analyses show overall that fiber helps with, like, going to the bathroom, with pooping. Like, it helps.
Yeah, just tell that to me or Ken Carnivore. Or probably any of the people in the study that I mentioned. I don't know about this one. But any of the people in the study that I mentioned. And really, enlighten me. Please tell me how that's going to help. Because it won't, actually. I'm going to feel terrible if I do that again. And I'm not doing that again. Because I've already experimented, actually. I've tried it. It doesn't work.
Okay. Maybe some people feel better by eliminating it, right? Okay, I can see a place for that. But again, it's not that carnivore has this magic. It's that you're taking things out of your diet that were probably aggravating you. They were aggravating your digestion.
Enlighten me about one. This is what I mean. Buddy, of course it's going to aggravate you because it has phytotoxins. The only difference is some people have it on an extreme scale and you can quite literally see the symptoms. Some people don't have it on an extreme scale and you can't see the symptoms. You only see them later on in life. You only see them later on as they age. So it's like, once again, this is just small scale stuff. All you have to do is understand the biochemistry, look at all this from a small scale, and then you'll realize everything that I'm talking about, and you'll go, holy crap, age is literally just a small scale thing. It's all based on the small scale. Every single thing that I'm talking about, it's all based on the small scale. You're not going to get much, sadly, I don't like saying this, but you're really not going to get that much valuable information in terms of these human randomized controlled trials, especially in today's day and age, because the ethics as of right now anyways, especially in the modern era, are so bad. Like, they are so restrictive that getting something that's actually quote unquote unethical, something that's unethical right now, is actually the best possible way to do this and to actually control for these groups. So you're not going to get it. So you have to look at this from the small scale and the biochemistry perspective, which, by the way, if you want any of your drugs or medications, even the camera that I'm recording with right now, maybe it's the computer, maybe it is the microphone, maybe it's the airplane in the air, maybe it is the internet. Where does that come from? That comes from the hard sciences. What does that mean? Biology, chemistry, physics. So just use your head, put those three in, and then throw it out and see what happens, because that's going to tell you all the answers. Ugh, clueless, absolutely clueless.
Producing excess gas, you're having pain, bloating. And again, this is another one where people go,
Yeah, I wonder why that happens. Maybe that fermentation of fiber isn't actually too helpful. Do we have a cecum? No. Interesting. Large intestine isn't actually like that of an herbivore, it's a carnivore. Small intestine looks like that of a carnivore. pH looks like that of a carnivore, quite literally a scavenger carnivore. Very, very low. Extremely low. So low that it's obviously a carnivore. Can't degrade fiber with the teeth. Doesn't have a cecum once again. Interesting. It's almost like if you just look at every single part in the digestive tract, they're not designed to eat plants, any sort, fruits or vegetables. Who would have thought? Oh my god. Ugh. Dude, you're making yourself look so bad. So bad. I think the worst part about him is his confidence about this. I'd like to I genuinely wouldn't mind debating him on this as a 24-year-old. I'll just school him in the biochemistry. This is like, once again, this is clueless. Absolutely clueless.
well, I was very inflamed. I'm like, yeah, what was your CRP? What was it? What's that? I'm like, well, that's what you use to measure inflammation. Well, my gut hurt. I was bloated. No. That is localized inflammation in response to something going on there. That is not the same thing as the inflammation that raises the risk of heart disease and cancer and that sort of thing.
And how exactly do you have that? Well, it turns out if you have an autoimmune problem like me, you're going to have that. Well, sadly, you're going to have that for a bit. And I actually, quite literally, you can see this in my skin because my skin isn't perfect yet. But I can guarantee you it's a hell of a lot better than it was before. Because before, my skin was completely covered in acne. By the way, I think acne is just an autoimmune condition. It's really, that's about it. So... once again, how much do I need to explain?
So what I would say to people is, hey, if you want to eat like a meat-based diet, I still don't think it's a great idea, but like you don't have to have like 4 ribeyes a day. You can choose leaner cuts of meat. You can have fish,
Why? I mean, yes, I'll say yes. Some of these things are important that he's talking about, but I wouldn't say the leaner cut part is actually important. I'd say that's kind of dumb. Well, it depends on what you're eating in the first place. But why? Why? Like, give me the biochemistry, man. Just tell me what's in the lean cut of meat. Tell me what's in the fish. It's not that hard. It really isn't. And then when you can tell me, you'll realize, oh, it's higher in polyunsaturated fat. Oh, yeah, that's right. It's also higher in deuterium content. Oh, yeah, that's right. Turns out that lipid peroxidation and actually going through glucose oxidation more isn't necessarily ideal. I wonder why. I don't know. Who would have thought, right?
Oh, and why not work in some fruits and vegetables? And if you have digestive problems with those, add them in one at a time and see.
Yeah, just add them back in and make sure that you just completely destroy your stomach again. And then keep trying to add them back in and realize that they just don't work. Man, I wonder why. It's almost like every single time I've added something back into my carnivore diet, it doesn't work. I wonder why that is. You know, it's almost like the body doesn't like inflammatory signals and doesn't like phytotoxins. Clueless. Absolutely clueless. Crazy.
See which one doesn't give you digestive distress.
Oh yeah, don't worry. I've actually tested all of them. I've tested spices. I've tested rice. I've tested eggplants. I've tested figs. I've tested lemons. I've tested limes. I've tested, you name it. I have tested every single one. I've tested so many of them. And take a guess. Take a guess what happens to my stomach in every single one of those scenarios. I feel worse. Turns out it doesn't work. I wonder why. Who would have thought? Clueless. Once again, clueless. I've tried chocolate. You name it. The chocolate and spices were my favorite, by the way. So I kind of added them back in. But in turn, the rest of them, like, I wouldn't recommend. I've tried coconuts. Coconut was terrible, actually. That was probably one of the worst ones I've ever added in. That's probably what contributed to my chest acne during that time. Wasn't a good idea. I wouldn't recommend it.
And I think, unfortunately, this becomes so much like a religion for people because they just, I think a lot of them don't like eating vegetables. And so it becomes an excuse to not eat vegetables. You know, we believe what we want to believe.
I will say, one thing I might agree with him on is it does sort of become a little bit like a religion. But there are pros and cons to religion. In my opinion, there are. One of the pros is that it sort of advocates for morality, or a sort of central kind of morality, or a central kind of like understanding of morality. So I'd say in that regard, it's sort of beneficial. But in the non-beneficial sense, it can definitely make some people a little bit more on the violent side. And there's this tag on my shirt. Well, we got rid of it. So yeah, it's probably say one of those. It's not, I don't think it's really that bad. It once again, it depends. It depends. I genuinely think though it's beneficial because I see so many more benefits from it than I do drawbacks. I only see the drawbacks when power corrupts, which I mean, I guess power corrupts everything, but regardless.
And again, the asymmetrical application of logic is very interesting to me. So there's a lot of carnivore.
Please tell me. Come on. Tell me. I haven't heard one yet. Every single one that you mentioned, I literally just showed you why it's BS. Once again, enlighten me. Please tell me one.
Advocates out there that say epidemiology is garbage. In fact,
yeah, it basically is. Especially when it's bought out by the SDA, which I've literally already made a video on. Who owns the Dietetics Association? Who made it? That's right, the SDA, 1914 or 1917. Once again, it's like, of course it is.
Paul Saladino had a video titled Epidemiology is Garbage. Like, okay. And then when he was on another podcast, he was citing epidemiology. And I'm like, wait. So, epidemiology is garbage.
Oh, I don't need to cite epidemiology for you. I will tell you in all biochemistry terms. Just debate me. Come on, please. Enlighten me. I haven't been enlightened yet, clearly. And every single time I tried to add something back in, it didn't work. Every single time I tried to say, hey, you know, it turns out fiber is healthy, it didn't work. In fact, it made things worse. I added coconut back in. Worst, really worst decision. One of the worst decisions by far. I added spice back in. It tasted pretty nice. I still am addicted probably to spice. If I had the opportunity to eat spice without having an inflammatory response, I would definitely take it. But doesn't matter what I have. If it's a plant, I have an inflammatory response. One way or another. It's kind of helpless. And I wonder why. It turns out because phytotoxins are actually really good at doing their job, especially when you're not giving yourself chronic inflammation. You want to cite biochemistry? Please, cite me some biochemistry. Insulin to glucagon ratio. Understanding insulin and glucagon at just a basic scale. What about understanding fatty acids and quite literally what the purpose is of glucose oxidation versus beta oxidation? That's another one. Vitamin and mineral interactions and the rubisco enzyme of basically plants and why they produce so much vitamin E and why that's not good for you. Yeah, how many do I need to show you? How many do I need? Once again, the fiber one, I don't think you're going to get the fiber one for a bit. But just from understanding quite literally what the purpose of fiber is, we already know, once again, fiber converts to short chain fatty acids. Meat is fatty acids. So why exactly would you get it from fiber when you don't have a cecum? Good point. I wonder why. Once again, I would really love to debate him. I would love to just school this guy. But, hey, he'd probably be scared. If he sees my Real Nutrition Biochemistry playlist and he actually watches every single video, he might very quickly be realizing he might be in the wrong. Like, really, really in the wrong.
Garbage, unless it's epidemiology that you agree with. But he's not alone in that. There's a lot of people who did that. And then here comes this, like, internet survey that was published by Harvard about people. I think it was in Harvard, but it was like a self-reported internet survey of people like.
Once again, I agree. I'm going to have to say I don't think that these epidemiology studies are that good references. I really don't think that they are. I'm going to have to say that over. I might have to say that over and over and over again, but I really don't think that they are good references. Just look at all this from a biochemistry perspective and it'll all line up for you. Just work your way up from basic principles. Literally, it's the exact same thing Elon Musk says. Work your way up from basic principles. And once you do that, you'll realize, oh, it turns out plants and vegetables are actually very, very unhealthy. In fact, they're extremely unhealthy. Why are we eating them this entire time? That's a good point. So, clueless. But, enlighten me. I still haven't heard one. I still haven't heard one thing on the biochemistry that you're actually right on here.
Like reporting like certain things improving on carnivore diet. I'm like, wait, so 20-year cohort studies with appropriate covariates are garbage, but a self-reported internet survey, that's high-quality evidence.
No, it's not. I agree with him. It actually isn't high-quality evidence. Just learn the biochemistry once again. Like, it doesn't matter if this was a vegan or a carnivore study. Just know the biochemistry. Understand that the main three things that can dictate whether or not you do or you don't understand something is biology, chemistry, physics, and then intertwining those three one way or another. Biophysics, biochemistry, physical chemistry. Doesn't really matter what it is. The whole point is you're mixing them together and you're trying to understand the world through that lens. And when you do that, and when you actually can do that, you will realize everything suddenly makes sense. And you'll go, oh, this is why this is happening. Oh, this is why that's happening. I wonder why.
Okay. I mean, again, it's like if you're going to apply. I just laid out how I don't think red meat is an independent risk factor for cancer. I'm not convinced about that. I'm very unconvinced about that. But if red meat had the data that dietary fiber had about reducing the risk of cancer, heart disease, and mortality, you carnivores would lose your absolute minds if anybody dared suggest that it wasn't good for you.
Dude, just look at the biochemistry. I don't care. I don't care if it's an epidemiology study. All I want to see is the biochemistry. I don't give a rat's. Like, really. The epidemiology studies, they're nice because they're basically just accumulated anecdotal evidence, or that's sort of how I see them. But I wouldn't even say they're accumulated anecdotal evidence. They're accumulated, very misrepresented sometimes anecdotal evidence. But regardless, it's not really that difficult. Just look at this from 3 perspectives, man. It's really not that hard. Just all it takes is 3. Just 3. Biology, chemistry, physics. Say it with me, kids. Biology, chemistry, physics. Once again, another clueless guy. Hopefully you learned something, and hopefully you learned why this guy's absolutely clueless. I don't really mind clueless people, but especially when they're confident and then they're kind of like in the middle. I think that's like the worst kind of clueless, because that's the kind of clueless that can actually like deviate people off of the right side, because they're like, oh, turns out meat's healthy, meat's healthy. Oh, no, meat isn't healthy. Actually, we'll actually start adding in other things, and then we'll increase all of our problems again. So it's like, yeah, I'm not really a big fan of people in the middle. I don't mind people on the all the way on the other side, because they're so delusional that they're in a category of their own. Once again, thanks for watching. If you found the video helpful and informative, and you even found it maybe a little entertaining, I don't know if I was a little bit direct in terms of the whole thing with insulting him, but quite literally, I don't really know how else to put this besides him doing this, because he's literally advocating for something when he has no clue of the biochemistry. And not only that, he's basically, well, once again, he's another clueless doctor. There's quite a bit of them out there. But yeah, hopefully you understood exactly everything that I said in terms of the biochemistry, and maybe he even's interested in debating me, because if he is, I would absolutely love to debate this guy and school him as an undergraduate and a 24-year-old on the biochemistry, because once again, this isn't really that difficult. I literally compiled all of the information, if you're interested, in that Real Nutrition Science playlist, otherwise known as the Science Behind Carnivore. It's really not that difficult. Just look at Real Nutrition Science and all the biochemistry lines up. So yeah, once again, thanks for watching. If you found the video informative, helpful, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. It really does help the channel grow. And if you are interested in seeing all of my videos ahead of time, click the join button down below. Or even if you're interested in supporting me personally, click the join button down below. So yeah, once again, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Pew.